For years, we believed we already understood Europa. To us, it looked like a silent, frozen wasteland trapped in an endless winter. Fascinating, maybe, but lifeless and still. Just another icy moon orbiting Jupiter, marked by strange reddish cracks. We logged it as one of Jupiter's many moons and admired the snapshots sent back by missions like Galileo, before turning our attention elsewhere. Whatever secrets Europa carried, we assumed they were buried deep beneath miles of ice, hidden forever from view. But we got it completely wrong. Under that smooth, frozen shell, something has been happening this entire time. Something warm, something active. And now, the James Webb Space Telescope has finally pulled back the curtain. For the very first time, it has decoded the chemical fingerprints spread across Europa's surface. And what it uncovered is far more shocking than anyone expected. The terrifying part isn't about alien monsters or science fiction nightmares. It's the realization that this moon is not dead at all. Europa is a world of violent geology, non-stop activity, and a gigantic hidden ocean that refuses to stay buried. Today, we're diving into how this quiet, frozen moon suddenly became one of the most dynamic worlds in the entire solar system. For decades, scientists viewed Europa as a place filled with incredible potential, but impossible to fully reach. Evidence strongly hinted that beneath its icy crust was a massive global ocean of salty, liquid water, possibly containing more water than all of Earth's oceans combined. The problem was the ice shell itself. Researchers believed this ocean was trapped beneath a crust tens of kilometers thick. Any chemistry, any signs of habitability, maybe even life, were sealed away in darkness far below the surface. If humanity ever wanted answers, it seemed we would need an enormous drill capable of cutting through miles of frozen ice. Then everything changed. Enter the James Webb Space Telescope. Webb is not simply a larger telescope. It sees the universe in a completely different way. Its giant golden mirror observes space in infrared light. And for a frozen moon like Europa, that changes everything. Visible light only shows reflected sunlight, but infrared light reveals the chemical signatures of molecules. Webb doesn't just show scientists that something exists, it tells them exactly what it is made of. With this incredible capability, astronomers aimed Webb directly at Europa, hoping to finally decode the mysteries written across its icy surface. And the first major clue came in the form of carbon dioxide trapped inside the ice. Now, discovering CO2 somewhere in the solar system is not automatically groundbreaking. Meteorites can bring it in, and surface chemistry can create it naturally. If the carbon dioxide had been spread evenly across Europa like ordinary dust, scientists probably would not have paid much attention, but that is not what Webb found. Instead, the CO2 was heavily concentrated inside a massive region known as Terra Regio. Scientists call areas like this chaos terrain, and honestly, the name fits perfectly. Imagine a frozen lake where giant slabs of ice have shattered apart, twisted in every direction, then frozen back together into a chaotic maze of cliffs, ridges, and broken blocks. Terra Regio is one of the youngest and most heavily disrupted regions on all of Europa, and that changed everything. Finding concentrated CO2 in one geologically active location is like finding a giant puddle in the middle of a desert. It immediately suggests there is a source nearby feeding it. The evidence pointed towards something astonishing. The carbon dioxide was likely not falling from space at all. It appeared to be rising from deep inside Europa itself. And because Jupiter's intense radiation destroys CO2 relatively quickly, its presence means the material must have reached the surface very recently. This was not some ancient leftover deposit. This was fresh activity happening right now. And this is where the story becomes truly mind-blowing. Not because it is horrifying in a monster movie sense, but because it completely destroys our old assumptions about Europa. The carbon dioxide discovery was only the beginning. Europa is constantly bombarded by Jupiter's brutal radiation field. That radiation should destroy the organized structure of crystalline ice, transforming it into a damaged, disordered form known as amorphous ice. For decades, this created a huge mystery. Data from the Galileo and Earth-based telescopes showed that Europa's surface, especially in younger regions, contains surprisingly fresh crystalline ice that should not have survived there. Scientists suspected that fresh material from below was resurfacing the moon, but the evidence remained indirect. Then, Webb connected all the dots. It not only detected CO2, but discovered that the carbon dioxide appeared most strongly in the exact same regions containing fresh crystalline ice, especially around Terra Regio. That was the breakthrough moment. Europa is not some frozen museum artifact drifting silently through space. It is an active world, constantly reshaping itself. The carbon dioxide and crystalline ice act like fingerprints left behind at a crime scene, revealing a story of recent and ongoing upheaval. Europa's ice shell is not a motionless barrier. It is a fractured, shifting crust interacting directly with the ocean beneath it. What happens in Europa's ocean does not stay hidden there anymore. Material from below is rising upward and spreading across the surface for us to detect. The old image of Europa as a quiet, sleeping moon is officially gone, and suddenly, the search for life looks completely different. For years, the biggest obstacle was figuring out how humanity could ever drill through such an impossibly thick ice shell. But Webb's observations now suggest that in places like Terra Regio, the ocean may already be bringing pieces of itself directly to the surface. And if carbon is making its way upward, what else could be coming with it? All the essential ingredients needed for life as we know it appear to exist on Europa. There is strong evidence for an enormous liquid ocean. There is energy supplied by Jupiter's powerful gravitational pull, constantly squeezing and heating Europa's interior. And now, Webb has provided the strongest evidence yet that carbon from inside the moon is also reaching the surface. This is not random contamination from space dust. This is Europa's own carbon, originating from its hidden ocean and delivered upward through geological activity. That discovery may make Europa the single most compelling place in the solar system to search for habitable conditions. Maybe we will not need to drill miles underground after all. Maybe scientists simply need to land in one of these chaos regions and study the chemical fingerprints the ocean has already written onto the ice. The question is no longer just whether life could exist deep below the surface. Now the question becomes, what can Europa's surface tell us about the ocean beneath it right now? The James Webb Space Telescope has completely rewritten the story of Europa. The old vision of a silent, frozen moon has been replaced with the reality of a living, changing world where the ocean and surface are directly connected. And honestly, that is the most exciting discovery imaginable. Europa is geologically alive, and this is only the beginning. These discoveries have essentially handed scientists a treasure map, and another mission is already on its way to follow those clues. Europa Clipper launched on October 14, 2024. After a 5.5-year journey using gravity assists from Mars and Earth, the spacecraft is expected to arrive at Jupiter in April 2030. Beginning in early 2031, Europa Clipper will perform dozens of close flybys, some passing as low as just 25 kilometers above the surface. Equipped with 9 advanced science instruments, the spacecraft will analyze the ice, particles, chemistry, and environment surrounding Europa, focusing specifically on the exact regions Webb has now highlighted. In other words, Webb has shown scientists where X marks the spot. Now Europa Clipper is heading there to discover what secrets are buried beneath the ice. The story of Europa is only just beginning. So now I want to hear from you guys. What do you think?